Today we're going to be playing some Warhammer Fantasy 8th Edition. We're going to have a 3,000 point game of the Beastmen versus the Lizardmen. We're going to play a regular battle line scenario. So we're going to go over to the armies and you guys can see what we got. Okay, here is the Beastmen army, 3,000 points. This Beastmen army comes with a bit of an asterisk because we are going to be playing with the Warhammer Army Projects 8th edition book for Beastmen. It's not a drastic change from the GW rules. It just adjusted some of the points for things like Minotaurs and the big monsters and brought them more into line with 8th edition. It also allowed you, if you took a Minotaur Lord, you could take one unit of Minotaurs as core. Those are really the only big changes in the book. Other than that, it's pretty much in line with 8th edition. So this is what we got. For core, we have a unit of 40 gore with hand weapon and shield. We have 5 Chaos Warhounds, a unit of 10 Ungor Raiders with bows and a musician. We have 1 unit of Minotaurs with hand weapon and shield. I'm sorry, not hand weapon shield, 2 hand weapons. For special, we have another unit of Minotaurs with great weapons. We have a unit of Centaurs with spears, shields, and throwing axes. Oh, also in core, we had 3 chariots. Sorry about that. We have, going back to special, we have 2 Razor Gore there in the back. And for rare, we have 2 Cygors. For our characters, our general is going to be the Doom Bull. We have a Great Bray Shaman there. We have the Wargore BSB and 2 level 1 Shaman, and one of those Shaman is bringing along the Shard of the Herdstone. For our spells, the level 1 Shaman, both of them will have Weissman's Wild Form. The Great Shaman is going to have Pit of Shades, the Withering, Enfeebling Foe, and Miasma. So that is our 3,000 points of Beastmen ready to go. Tell me what the Lizardmen have today.
Got a Slan, 3 Sword Scarf veterans, one of which is a Battle Standard Bearer, 2 units of 30 Saurus, unit of 20 Temple Guard, 8 Croxagores, 9 Chameleon Skinks, 2 units of 10 Skink Skirmishers, a Bastiladon, and a Stegodon.
Nice. And what's the Stegodon armed with?
The giant blowpipes.
And the sharpened horns?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the Skink Skirmishers armed with?
Blowpipes.
Blowpipes. Okay. What spells does the Slan have?
He has Fireball, Burning Head, Fulminating Flame Cage, and Flame Storm.
All right. We're going to go ahead and get set up, and we'll be right back. End of Lizardmen turn 1, and the Lizardmen have moved up. A lot of their shooting is kind of out of range. Magic ended up being a bit of a fizzle. Over here, the Chameleon Skinks did shoot up the Centaurs, did cause a panic on them, but they did manage to pass their leadership test. That is where we sit at the end of Lizardmen turn 1. We're going to see what the Beastmen can do to respond. End of Beastmen turn 1, and this is where we sit. For magic, one level 1 shaman got off wild form onto the gore here. The both the great shaman and the other level 1 failed to cast anything. Both Cygors missed their marks on throwing their rocks. And strangely enough, the Chaos Warhounds charged the lowly little Skink Skirmishers, or not Skink Skirmishers, Chameleon Skinks, and 3 of them got gunned down, and then the skinks actually destroyed the other 3 in combat. So they have now reformed up on the Centaur. So I don't think the Centaur are going to be around too much longer. So we shall see where we are at the end of Lizardmen turn 2. So kind of an uneventful turn 1, but things are getting together. End of Lizardmen turn 2. Magic didn't really amount to much. The poor Slon could only roll a 2 for magic and didn't get any channels. So nothing much happened there. In shooting, the Chameleons and shots from the Stegodon took out a Minotaur and put a wound on another. The Skink Skirmishers over there put 1 wound on a Razor Gore. And all the way over on the other side of the table, these incredibly accurate Skink Skirmishers took out a whole Minotaur and put a wound on another one. So that is where we sit there. Going on to Beastmen turn 2. End of Beastmen turn 2. Okay, over here, the Centaurs managed to throw an axe into the side of the Stegodon and took a wound off of him. The Razor Gore charged into the Skink Skirmishers, but the Skink Skirmishers actually killed him in combat and then reformed onto the Centaurs. Over here, the Chariot and the Gore charged into the Croxagores, killed 4 of them, broke the Croxagores, but the Chariot tried to pursue but couldn't catch them. The Gore just reformed to wait for the charge that's coming in from the Saurus. The other Razor Gore tried to charge those Skink Skirmishers, and again, the Skinks killed him in combat before he could swing. So the Skink Skirmishers are doing amazing this game. As far as magic goes, the Beastmen got some good numbers for magic. We got Wild Form off on the Doom Bulls unit, but the Slon is just rolling 5 and 6s for all of his Dispel dice. So that was the only spell we were able to get off that turn. So that is where we sit at the end of Beastmen turn 2, and the Lizardmen are getting ready to lock horns with us. So on to Beastmen turn 3. End of Lizardmen turn 3. In the magic phase, the Lizardmen managed to cast a Firestorm onto this unit of Minotaurs and killed 1 whole Minotaur. The Chameleon Skinks managed to shoot down another Minotaur, so they are missing 2 from their ranks. Over here, the Skink Skirmishers killed all but 1 of the Centaurs, and then he panicked and ran through the woods. Did pass his dangerous terrain test, though. Over here, the Stegodon and the Saurus are just lining up on the Minotaurs. Scanning over to here, the Temple Guard tried to charge that chariot but failed. The Saurus and the Bastillodon came in and charged the Gore. The Lizardmen ended up winning that combat, but the Gore managed to save thanks to the battle standard being right there. And over here, the Skink Skirmishers took some more shots at the Minotaurs and killed 1 of them. And the Croxagores managed to rally. So this is where we're sitting at, and we'll be coming back for Beastmen turn 3 in a second. End of Beastmen turn 3, and this is where we're at. The Doom Bulls unit and the Chariot charged into this unit of Saurus. Definitely caused a lot of casualties, but we couldn't break their steadfast, so they held there. We did cast the Enfeebling Foe on the Temple Guard, and put Weissman's Wild Form on this unit of Gore. We did manage to win this combat and charge the chariot into the side, but again, the Saurus were steadfast. Over here, the Great Weapon Minotaurs charged the Croxigor and beat them, but because of the Blood Creed rule, they had to overrun, so they're now stuck out of position in the woods. So this is definitely looking good for the Beastmen, but the Lizardmen have a good opportunity to tilt the scales back to them. All right. Oh, and we did chuck a rock over and get a direct hit onto the Temple Guard also. So we killed a couple with that. So that's about all that happened in turn 3. We will be going on to Lizardmen turn 4. Ooh, end of turn 4, and the Lizardmen have come back swinging. So the Stegodon charged into the combat with the Doom Bulls unit and this unit of Saurus. The Stegodon did 8 wounds with his impact hits, and that pretty much left the Doom Bull by himself. And the Doom Bull managed to kill 6 Saurus, but it wasn't enough to win the combat, and the Doom Bull broke, and as did the chariot. You can see the chariot's running. All the skink skirmishers on this side of the board came after the Cygor and did 4 wounds to him. Over here, the Temple Guard charged in and killed the chariot, but that pulled them out of combat. The Beastmen won this combat here, but the Lizardmen still managed to hold. I'm not sure how that one's going to go because the Beastmen are getting whittled down back there. And the skink skirmishers over there put 2 more wounds on a Minotaur in the backfield. So this is where it sits. We're going to see if the Beastmen have anything left going into turn 4. End of Beastmen turn 4, and the Beastmen couldn't quite pull it out. We tried to throw a rock at the Stegodon over there and missed. We did cast a Pit of Shades at this unit of Saurus, but it drifted off and we only hit 2. The chariot did rally. The Ungor managed to take out another Saurus. Must have shot him through the eye with one of their cheap little bows. Over here, the Cygor tried to charge in, but managed to do a couple wounds. But between the Scar Veteran and the Temple Guard, they just hacked him down, and he wasn't able to get his Thunder Stomp in there. So that's not too good. We still have the Saurus dead sitting here from this combat. This combat was actually a draw, but the Beastmen are really getting whittled down there, and they're not going to survive another combat, especially if those Temple Guard come into the flank. This is the end of turn 4. We are going to call this one in favor of the Beastmen, because the Beastmen are going to take this combat, and this poor Cygor over here only has 1 wound, so they're probably going to kill him, and they're probably going to charge the chariot. All in all, I think this was a good game. I was pleased with how the Minotaurs worked. They definitely were pretty tough. I'm not too sure about the choice of Shadow Magic for Beastmen, but might have to take another game or 2 to try that one out, because usually I use Death. You have any thoughts on this one?
It was definitely a fun one. I'm particularly proud of the skirmisher units in the Stegodon. They definitely did really good.
Oh yeah, your skinks were rolling 6s like crazy. Mm. What about the Slan? How you liking the fire magic? You want to stick with that one?
I think I'll stick with it. I'm also proud of the Saurus. They managed to put up a good fight.
Oh yeah, the Saurus, they were just big blocks that I couldn't shift. I didn't break either one of them, which was amazing. Took out the Croxigors. Usually they're the bane of my existence, but the Minotaurs with their Blood Creed rule kind of pulled them out of position over there. And that Stegodon, not breaking this unit of Saurus and having that Stegodon came in, that just shifted this whole side. But that was a fun one. That was good. Nice to see the Beastmen get out off the shelf for a while. All right, that's going to be the end of our game. Thank you all for watching. Victory for the Lizardmen.